How's band practice, Win?
All
Really
right.
good.
We're recording.
Hey, this is Bruja, and welcome back. We have another great interview for you. I'm here with my co-host, Dave Coop,
Hey.
and we've got the Antagonizers ATL. If you guys can introduce yourselves, starting with the singer.
Hey guys, thanks for having us on. Bo Zachary, the microphone maniac. Yeah,
Cool.
that'll work.
Richard, guitar.
Nice.
When bass.
Nice.
Eric, guitar.
Rather.
Thanks for taking the time out to do this with us, guys. So you guys are all in Atlanta, the Atlanta area, obviously.
Well,
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Atlanta, yeah.
Okay. And
Kind of like LA, it has plenty of outskirts, but still kind of considered part of the area.
yeah, it's like probably you're like, one of you could be 40 minutes out and everyone's like, oh, you live in Atlanta. It's like, no, I live here. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of, people do that
To
all
the
the time.
rest of the world, it's Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. So are you guys all in shelter in place?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Everybody but Win and his Oi band.
Yeah.
See, for
Breaking
the
the rules.
coronavirus, they decided to change their name to 104 degrees.
Yeah. That's right.
So how are you guys doing with the shelter in place? How are you guys holding up?
Yeah.
Uh,
We're essential, so we're in and out of work, Eric and I. But for the most part, staying home when we can.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I work from home anyway, so it hasn't been that big of adjustment. It's just not having a gym. So to fill my free time, I've been building gym equipment in my garage.
Are you
I
serious?
saw it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I built a whole big cable machine out of 2x6s and 4x4s.
Wow, man. Straight up. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Home Depot's still open.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes, those Lowe's.
Wow. They're all shut down here. I'm in Arizona. It's all shut down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's still
everything's-
open, Win?
Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I go there. I go to getting a lot of yard work done. My company is on total shutdown, so we've been closed down for 2.5 weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the auto business, driving customers to dealerships, and though a lot of dealerships are still open, I can't, and they don't want me to drive 75 to 100 people a day through the dealership doors. So I don't want to risk my teams or the customers. So we're completely on lockdown till this lifts.
Wow.
Good.
And that's what's crazy. I mean, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel yet. So that's what's fucked up. I mean, just a side note or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a time to test your faith, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because eventually this is going to be over.
Yeah. It's just, I just don't think the numbers we're getting from the government are I don't think they're realistic. Like trying to say Vegas is going to open in May. How would that happen? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, I'm
It won't.
thinking more like
I
July.
agree with that.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be premature, and then we'll go back into lockdown the month later.
Yep.
That's-
Yeah.
It's either that or it's not going to open for even longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one country has it best because they have the only way it's going to be is to get everybody locked down, get testing in the areas that you really feel who's already had it, who hasn't, and then until they have, I think China's the only one that's doing that. I think the others are jumping on board, but I think we're definitely weeks away from all that taking place. But what do I know?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think China is being pretty misleading with their numbers. If you look at all the curves, everybody's going up except China, and they've been basically a flat line for 2 months now. So I find that hard to believe that.
I don't think they've been on the up and up since this began. I don't think they have.
Well, it'd been around for 8 months before they even admitted it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
they were denying it.
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
They're
That's
not the
exactly
most
what I understand
forthright.
too.
They're not the most forthright government. So
Right.
No.
It's like I think we're all
It really is.
I think we're all old enough to know that we can't trust communism.
yeah.
It comes with
Yeah.
any information coming
Yeah.
from a communist country,
Sure.
it's either
yeah.
over exaggerated or under exaggerated, depending on what the topic is. But it's never
Yeah.
direct and to the point.
Yeah. Especially if you lived through Chernobyl,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
I which
there
I
you go.
That's why
believe all
we've
of us
learned to
have.
trust only oil.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Chernobyl. It was just a minor little accident. No big deal.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What's that burn mark? Oh, it's just a flesh wound. It'll go away.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oh.
I want to ask you guys like the obvious question. This is kind of the stupid question, but I got to ask you. So what has this affected as far as release for your new album, tour dates, everything like that? Let's just kind of go down the list.
A lot.
Exactly.
A shit ton.
Yeah, you guys had like within the past year have had like a snowball effect of just things, bigger and bigger things going on for you guys.
Absolutely. How long was your?
Yeah.
This is a side question, real quick. How many dates did you guys do with the Addicts?
3.
We only did 3 dates with the Addicts. Some of the southern dates, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Nashville.
They're fun guys, huh?
It was amazing. It was an amazing opportunity. It was an amazing opportunity. I'll let everybody else talk, but yeah, they were great, and the opportunity was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Well,
they're longtime friends of mine.
one
okay.
weird thing is that the less than a month after that club we played in Nashville, it was completely obliterated by the tornado.
Oh, really?
True.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Basement East, it just no longer exists.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
What club?
Yeah, it was a really nice venue too.
Yes, it was.
We're in Nashville, you said when?
Yeah, Nashville.
Do you know the name?
Wow.
It was at the Basement East,
Oh, really?
and they're all Live Nation clubs, so they're all like pretty much the best of the best, or the top notch, those kind of clubs. So when a club like the Basement East goes down, there's not another club to fill that void as of now.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a shame to see such a nice venue. I mean, it's a shame to see any venue suffer that fate, but especially one that was really nice like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. God, talk about getting hit twice, man. Shit.
I know. Just about to recover, and then coronavirus hits.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what does this mean for the new record then?
Yeah, so I wanted to embellish on that if you guys don't mind.
No, absolutely.
So yeah, you're right. We were really busy coming, through this year. I was telling Diana yesterday, we last year or whatever it was, we did that punk rock bowling and got to do a bunch of shows on the West Coast with like Lions Law, Info Riot, Rude Pride, and that was really good exposure and things like that. And then coming into this year, we made a lot of major, well, not coming into this year, but, as of a few months ago, we made a lot of major lineup changes and direction in the band, all for the better. And previous to that, yeah, we did the Addicts run, and then made the lineup change, which was amazing because if you don't mind, I'll touch base on that.
Yeah.
Because we're inadvertently found a way to make some changes and still keep the whole original band intact. So, you got Eric moved from drumming, which he's been the only drummer we've ever had, to, he's on rhythm guitar now. So it's a big move to go from a 4-piece to a 5-piece was the initial thoughts that really gave us the depthness of our sound. And then we took Billy from bass. Billy's pretty much wants to tour more than, practice and write songs as much because he's got a big family and things like that. So we brought Win in, which is a very close friend of ours for years, and his other band DDC, and he had a new band started. We were always brother bands together. So him on bass is phenomenal. And of course, his involvement in Fat Skins and his experience and musical abilities really brought a lot of light to our band. It took a lot of pressure off Richard, who used to be the only guitarist who had to write all the songs and leads and backups. So having somebody to share that platform with kind of brought a new light to the band. Brought in Don, who's been playing drums for 20 years. And it's ironic, nobody's ever heard of the guy in our scene. He's not in any other band, which is kind of hard to find a really good drummer that is not in 10 bands.
Yeah.
So adding him to the mix helped out. And then Billy, he went on keyboards. We got a couple songs that have keyboards now, and he plays keyboards for a Southern Ska Syndicate. And that's who backed up Monty Nesmith from Samara at the Winter Weekender Fest. So now we have a 6-piece band, effectively. But as far as going into the album talk, going into that, yes. Besides the album talk, we got to a point where a lot of stuff was going for us. We played the Winter Weekender in Atlanta, sold out dates with all our bands, because Rich was in Hanging Judge and Wynn's in his band EDC, and Strike First, right?
Strike First.
Yeah.
Strike
We'll
First.
probably talk about that in a minute. But moving forward, so that was amazing. But we're all getting set up for this album. And so everything we're doing was going to be set up for this album release. So we had the Cox Bar, I don't know if you knew that, finally got Cox Bar after working on that for 8 years. So Cox Bar was due to play Atlanta in May. And we were on that bill. So that was going to be a huge thing. And then, yeah, in Europe, we have Europe coming up in the end of July. And that's 12 dates, 4 festivals, and finally got on Rebellion.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's obviously Punk Rock Bowling canceled completely. It's no longer postponed for other reasons, so that's not till next year. Along with that cancellation went Cox Bar, so that's now canceled until next year. Me as a booking agent too, I had Booze and Glory booked with the Drowns coming next month because of Punk Rock Bowling. They're canceled. Wynn's debut show before the Winter Weekender was going to be a Class of 56. Well, that didn't work out either because they got sick. So, you know, all the shows that we had booked locally are now dead. And we don't know what's going on with Europe yet because Rebellion hasn't announced anything that I know of. But if that closes down, the other festivals close down, there goes our Europe tour too.
Yeah.
But here's the good news. So talking to Parvis Press Records, the good news is this. Our album is done now. It's complete and it's recorded.
Cool.
And we can talk about that in a minute, but I've never been more happy with a product that is what I found to be the most amazing thing we've ever had a chance to be part of. The good news is we have now until whenever this uplifts to really fine tune everything, to figure out what songs order, to figure out what songs we're going to make a video for, to put promos together, to make sure that we can get the right distribution and the right push behind it. Label put out a 1-song flexi disc as our title track to push before the album's release. So by the time the album hits, everything will be in full swing. There'll be so much momentum behind it. That's when all those tours will be rebooked, and just be prepared for us to hit probably the end of this year into next year is when we're going to come out swinging so hard to push this album. Don't be surprised to see 3 or 4 tours from us next year, because this is the biggest thing we've ever been a part of. So that's what I have for my answer to your questions.
I'm really excited to hear what your album sounds like, because now that you've added a keyboardist to the mix, it's like has it altered the core sound that you guys have? Has it altered that any different? Or it's just...
No, it still sounds about the same. I would say
I think the overall sound, not just with the addition of the keys, but going to 2 guitars and all of that, the sound is huge. Yeah, I can't get over it. I was in the studio yesterday doing some, because we both, DDC and Strike First, we record at a place called Lead Belly Studios here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so this was the first time that Antagonizers had gone there. I've been talking to Bo about it for a couple of years about going and recording there. And so the engineer, we were up there doing some Strike First stuff, just some cleanup stuff for our EP. And our drummer for Strike First hadn't heard the Antagonizer stuff, and he was completely, his jaw literally dropped when the engineer started playing some of those Antagonizer songs.
Oh, that's rad. That's awesome.
They're over the top good, and it's one of the best albums I've ever been a part of.
Coming from you, Win, that's a pretty big statement, man. Because you've been on some really.
I stand by that statement.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear it.
I mean, it's like I'm a sucker for any band that has keyboards. I'm a sucker for it. But I mean,
oh yeah,
that's awesome.
So even without the keyboards in it, the album is absurdly good.
Yeah.
But then you add that extra layer to it, and it just puts it out of the ballpark. It's a grand slam. I can't say enough good stuff about it.
That's awesome.
That's rad. That's rad. That's totally cool.
And it's like,
Yeah.
You should have a sticker on the cover that says it might make you oil your pants.
Yep.
and the thing about it is the couple songs that have the keyboards, it's not like we're forcing keyboards into anything. The couple songs that have the keyboards have the place for it to go. And the songs definitely have the right feel. So no, it doesn't take away from some of the songs. Every song, there's going to be between 11 and 12 songs on this album. I think maybe 4 of them have keyboards. Maybe 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
probably 4. But when you hear it, they're in the right place. And the style of this album it's in a different vein than the last album. Last album was a combination of all of our stuff over the years from different bands that we partook in and wrote some of the songs together. But this album is 100% all created by the guys that are in this band right now. When coming in probably helped with 4 or 5 brand new songs. And they're all done in a vein that's good. It gave me goosebumps, and like most bands hear something new, when they do it new and you're happy about your new song, it's very rare that you hear some shit. Like I heard Win singing on the album in the studio, and I was just thinking to myself, wait, I'm breaking up. Wait. Y'all can't hear me, can you?
we
Yeah,
can,
we can hear
we just,
Oh wow, anyway, I was just thinking to myself, and about another thing, having Win's vocals on this album is a whole different twist. It really adds a different dimension. Also, Richard's vocals are very prominent on this album. He sings for Hanging Judge now, which is a phenomenal band.
Oh, fuck, Hanging
Richard's
Judge.
got
Hanging
very,
Judge is
very
one of our
distinctive
favorites.
vocals. So does
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you have 6 stand-up, true veteran place experienced musicians, and they're all showcased on this album. That's why it's exciting.
Yeah,
That's-
and what I really like about those moments where Richard and I are doing some lead vocals along, you're never going to mistake Richard for Bodon or me for Richard. Like everybody has this really distinct voice, and when you hear it come out, you're like, wow, that's a really cool kind of twist, because Richard does a couple songs where he does lead vocals along with Bodon on the verses, and I have a couple that I do too. And at no point you go, oh, who was that? You know exactly who it is, and it just meshes so well because we all have different sounding voices. So
when do you think?
And Win's bass playing, I don't know who they're related to, except that yeah, it's not. It's Win. How would you describe? Is there anybody out there that you feel is kind of like along the style, not that is the same, but is there anybody along this style that you might compare your style to?
Honestly, I don't know who I would nail down and say. I'm no Matt Freeman, but if I had to choose, it would be somewhere, and I'm certainly not anywhere remotely close to this level, but somewhere between Matt Freeman and Steve Harris, because those are kind of my two big influences for bass.
I would agree.
Wow.
And,
I would say I would call it the bass Savoy.
I was gonna say, I was thinking Matt Freeman just from
And I think Wynn's being a little bit modest, and so I don't want to step over the line too, but no, it's freaking good. Like, there's no reason Wynn's name shouldn't be dropped in some of the better ones out there. And the thing about it is, Wynn hasn't played bass in a band, and all these bands I want you all to think about, Faskins, DDC, his new band now, you know, he's all played guitar. So this is the first band, but the crazy thing is he wrote so many songs for those bands all on bass, but you would never know it. So this is the first band he's actually debuting in, hey, this is an instrument I've been playing for 20-something years, and it shows, period.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
haven't.
That's awesome.
I haven't played bass in a band in 25 years. And,
Oh, shit.
but I wrote all the Fatskins bass lines. I wrote all the DDC bass lines. I wrote all the new bass lines for Strike First. So I'm no stranger to it, but it take a little bit of adjustment getting used to playing full sets. You know, I was just used to recording a song here and there and stuff like that. But it's been a good adjustment, and it's kind of helped me kind of it's just made me write better bass lines in my other bands too. So
That's
been good.
fucking awesome. Well, look, you guys have talked about how awesome the album is. Now you got us licking our chops to hear it. When do you think?
That was the point.
When do you think you'll drop one song?
One
Like
song?
One single of it.
Well, here's what I think. I think I can have the songs to the record label because they're done. We're just going through final mix downs and making our final tweaks. So the answer to your question is very simple. As soon as I send the record label the songs, we're going to let 5 people listen to all of our songs. And we're going to let 5 people, some of them in the scene, some of them not in the scene. Like, my mom's going to be able to listen to some songs. I'll let my sister and her friends listen to a couple songs. But at the end of the day, we're going to pick out 1 or 2 songs that we feel and other people feel are our strongest songs, and that's what we're going to release.
nice.
Right on. Right on. That's
I mean-
cool.
So the answer to your question, we're in May right now. What are we in, April?
We're in
April.
Everyone's
I
playing in
think the
April.
reality is the push will hit, and so the reality is I don't know. I'm hoping by the time the sun is up there in the air and you're saying the summertime, we should be dropping something.
That's cool. That's cool. And I know anyone that wants to buy your current music right now can on Pirates Press Records, because they are one of the few distros or one of the few labels that you can actually still order and buy stuff from right now. I know this because they're in my backyard. I live like a hot spot
Absolutely.
for them, so yeah.
And they have an amazing distribution site, and they're probably the forerunners in social media push. Also, we have Bandcamp. So it's a Bandcamp, Antagonizers ATL, and we have a full merch lineup of shirts, records, 7 inches. I mean, literally, they call it, this might as well call it Oymart. So we're shipping out from here. Pirates Press Records shipping out for the things that we don't, some of the things that he don't have of ours, and you can still get music.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if anyone
Awesome.
wants to buy your music, where can they go?
To find it, to buy it, or to listen to it?
To
Buy it.
Because right now, like,
If
that's
you want to buy it, go to Bandcamp, go to Antagonizers at Bandcamp, or please go to the record label direct, because they've got great price. That's another thing. We can't touch Pirates Press Records pricing. So either one, Pirates Press Records or our Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Our Bandcamp does have a lot of things they don't, but they have some things we don't. So check them both out.
okay.
Cool.
And so going back onto other bands, let's go on to you, Wynn. You guys were mentioning earlier, you have a new band called Strike First?
Strike First, yeah. We kind of, in spite of the banner, we call it Quits with DDC.
Ooh.
But the
that sucks.
yeah, but I'm doing vocals and playing lead guitar, and it's the drummer and our last bass player from DDC, and then he's actually switched to guitar, And so we just tried out a new bass player today. And but we've got an EP recorded, and like the Antagonizers album, it's being mixed, same guy. So it's all the, you know, I wrote all the DDC stuff, so it's a lot like DDC. It's got a little bit of a different feel to it, but I'm really happy with it. And also, I'm about to go into the studio to record a new Fatskins album also.
So that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that's like 14 songs. So
Wow.
all of the music is done except my parts, because you know everybody else lives in Phoenix, and so they recorded all there. Then they send it to me, and I go to our studio guy at Lead Belly and record my tracks there. So, but I was right before Winter Weekender. I was in there with Strike First doing our EP. Then right after Winter Weekender, I was in there with Antagonizers. And now probably next month I'll be in there with Fatskins. So it's been busy studio days for me the last couple of months. So
Oh wow.
I'm kind of spent on the creative level.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Hey, Diana.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to take you off track. I'll wait.
I was just gonna say you kind of had the time for it in a way.
Yeah, I do now. I probably would have spread it out a little bit if I'd known I had so much free time.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go for it, Bodon.
Hey. Oh, hey. So real quick before we get off that topic and go wherever you want, I do want to also just backtrack for a second. I know I put a lot of focus on Win, and you know, Eric hasn't played rhythm guitar in like God knows how long, so he basically had to learn everything. And he literally hasn't played the rhythm guitar in a band, I don't know, never, so he did a great job. But I also want to put focus on the job that Richard did on that album, and his guitar playing and his leads and his vocals. So I definitely want to give him the accolades there. But also, you know, Richard's really come far and heavy with, he's got a band that he sings called Hanging Judge, and he's also recording just like Win was. So I want to make sure too that, you know, Richard gets the attention from what he's done on his album, and also all the great work he's doing with his band that he's singing for.
Oh yeah. I was like,
Well, let me say something real quick. I mean, and this is straight from the heart. No ass kissing, nothing. Dude, Richard, I think for Hanging Judge, you're like one of the best fucking singers going now in oi, punk rock, whatever. You guys fucking absolutely shred, dude. You're like one of our favorite bands to play on the show.
Well, man, that means a lot to me. I appreciate it. You know, we've kind of been doing, you know, been working hard on this Antagonizers record. So I'm back in the studio working for the Hanging Judge record right now. Actually, I've got to go in next. So hopefully we'll have something out here soon. We're doing it up in at your studio.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of songs that we just finished up. Now I've got in the process of actually writing lyrics right now, and going to drop some next week. So hopefully we'll get that knocked out here soon and get that released in the near future as well.
nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Killer. Can't wait to hear that either, man.
I know.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time coming. With mine and Chris's touring schedules, he's constantly on the road with we're finally going to have some time to actually put some time back into this record, and hopefully once all this bullshit, we'll be able to get back on and start doing some shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
Time.
you just answered the question I was gonna have. If you guys, once you guys put something out, are you just gonna go out and support it?
Yeah, we're actually talking some tentative dates right now for the fall. I'm also kind of doing something with APA here and there a little bit. Again, we're also discussing doing some of that stuff. So who knows what's going to happen once all this is up? You know, we're going to be.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to see you guys at Live and Loud, and when they canceled it, I was like, oh fuck, man. But I was really, you guys are one of the bands I was really looking forward to checking out, man.
Man, yeah, I mean,
all the way to fucking Chicago for me. I mean, I'm on the West Coast, so fuck.
Well, yeah, hopefully we'll get out that way sometime in the next year or so.
Cool, killer, man.
You know,
Killer.
one thing I wanted to do when this is all over, and I've never really discussed it until right now, but one of the concepts I'm thinking about doing, and I don't care if it's just a weekend, but I'd really like to take Antagonizers ATL, Hanging Judge, and a Wynn's New Band, the three of us as a package, and just hit and just play a couple shows together, and maybe do a couple small mini tours, kind of, and make it kind of like you know, the ATL tour type deal. Because I can't believe we've got three heavy hitters right here in this town, and it was only a few years back there wasn't one oi band in Atlanta or even a street punk band. Well, there was, but the scene has definitely grown. So now we got three top bands. I'd like to take them on the road.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be a killer tour, man.
That'd be awesome if like the releases could all be around the same time. Realistically,
that'd be great.
No, you know, but that would be awesome. You guys could just
Boy, the tour.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So you guys, Bo, you did. You're one of the guys. You're behind the Winter Weekender. You guys just had that, and that was like a huge success.
Yes.
Like 3 sold out dates. Do you plan on doing it again next year?
You know, I passed on doing it for a couple of years, and the crazy thing is because, you know, before the Winter Weekender, I used to do it. I lived in North Carolina. It was called Dirty South Fest, and I got to like number 4. But when we did Atlanta, we only did 2 dates. It was Friday and Saturday. So Friday's always been soul night with DJs. And this time we'd added the Monty from Samara, and it was just crazy. I've never seen so many soul ska type enthusiasts at this club. It was packed. It was packed, and we had DJs. You know, I brought DJs in from all over the country. So you know, you had Bird from San Diego, and you had my brother, my love. You got Rico out of Kansas City, and then you got Darren reggae. So I mean, you got heavy hitting DJs to run the soul night, and then all of a sudden you got freaking Monty. I mean, here's the crazy thing: Monty lives in Atlanta. He lives right here. Yeah. So we played with the Pie Tasters a couple months ago, and I found out when we played Live and Out last year, we went on right before Monty when he was getting backlined by the Bishops. And so I got to talking to him. He's like, yeah, I live in Atlanta. Actually, I want to share this. Nobody knows this. So we were talking, and he said that he lives in Atlanta and that we should get in touch. Cool. That was last year at Live and Loud. This year we played with Pie Tasters at the Masquerade, and now I knew he lived in Atlanta. I'm really good friends with Steve and the Pie Tasters for 20-something years. I called Steve up. I'm like, hey, what do you think about having Monty come up and do a song? He's like, yeah, man, he does it all the time. So Monty actually came out during the Pie Taster show and did a guest appearance and did Catch That Train.
No.
And nobody knew he's even there. So then after the show, he's like, Bo, you know, I live here. I'd like to do a show. Of course, he only uses backup bands. So I'm like, oh my God, we could do this, and I could get Southern Ska Syndicate to be your backup band, Billy's other band. And then I'm thinking, man, I don't really want to just do this one local Atlanta show with Monty from Samara. I mean, that guy deserves it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And it was that conversation at that moment I decided, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and do a weekender around this, because I think I can do it right and tack a place out and really let people know about Atlanta and Monty and Soul and Scott. And so he was the pivotal point that the whole weekender built around. So there's that. The other thing quick is that, yes, I only do Friday and Saturdays. Fridays Soul Ska, Saturdays Oi. And this year I decided to take it to the third night. So the answer to your question is, I don't know, because I stopped doing it for a while because it's very taxing. Though I get plenty of help from people, it's pretty much all me. And I'm not doing it to tap myself on the back. I'm doing it to kind of put myself out there real thin. So it's really stressful. But I have a lot of help. Wynn has helped out a lot. The guys in the band, Lisa Shiffy's helped out a lot. Sarah in Washington's helped out. But the answer to your question is maybe, but I don't know if I could do another 3 days. It was very taxing. But the crazy thing is I already have it booked with the bands if we are going to do it, because they've all contacted, and we have some heavy hitters. Okay, fuck it, I'll let the secret out of the bag. We have some heavy hitters, and if it happens, it might go down next year, and it'll even shed light. It'll compete with this year's last one. So,
Nice.
long story short, if we do it, expect it to be big, because we really don't do things small. Go big or go home.
Nice.
Nice, man.
Very
Nice.
nice. Very, very nice.
That's killer. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it's like you guys this upcoming album is a full album. You've had what, 3 other full albums as well, and most of them are kind of like EPs, right? Or am I correct?
This is our second full album. Our first one, that was our debut album, this Working Class Street Punk, and we haven't released, that was our first album, and we haven't released any albums until now. The rest have been 2-song 7-inches or 1-song compilation 7-inches. So this is our follow-up second full-length album.
You've done a few splits, because I have that one that's with the Crim,
Noise.
Pride, and
Oh, yeah.
Noise. I have that 4-way split.
That was our first, so that Marching On was our first song since I'm not sure when we released that last album, but it's been 3 or 4 years. So Marching On was the first song that we wrote since the album's released that we recorded. Am I right, Richard?
Yeah.
We did a lot of touring. I started a new business that took my mind elsewhere, so we didn't write music for a while. So I approached Powers Press Records with that concept of wanting to do 2 American bands and 2 European bands. The goal was to try for us to increase our audience in Europe, since we're going up over there for the 3rd time. So they got behind the project, and Matt from Noise definitely jumped on it, and Root Pride jumped on it, and Crim. So that is the first release that we did since our album with new songs.
Yeah.
And the push that got and the receival that got was never expected, and it was tremendous.
Yeah, it's a killer 4-way
Awesome.
split. It's a very, very killer 4-way split.
Definitely, man. That's awesome. That's really cool. So
But we
then,
also did splits with, you can still find some of them out there. We did split with DDC, Wynn's other band.
Yeah.
We did one with the Queers. I think we have to be, it's sold out. They pressed it twice, and that's on Sexy Baby Records. But we have to be one of the only Oi-type bands, street punk, whatever, to do a record with a pop punk band. I don't know. But that one sold out 2 times, like 2 pressings, and they're still sold out now. So you can still find them on eBay.
that's a good mix,
and
though.
then we did
That's
another
a cool.
split. What now?
Oh, he said that's a good mix.
I said that's a good mix, though.
Yeah.
That's the Queers and you guys. That's a good, cool mesh of music. It flows well.
And that's the thing. And we did split with Warning Shots on, which is Mark Lynn's band from like Ducky Boys and stuff. That's his one of his projects. So the thing about us, I'm told, is that we can kind of play with anybody pretty much. Rock and roll, punk, hardcore, ska. And so I try to mix it up a little bit.
It's cool.
Nice.
So Eric, how does it feel to be playing guitar now?
A lot less setup.
A lot less, I bet.
It's a lot easier on my spine and on my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So aside, what was the first instrument you learned how to play?
Probably the trumpet.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
rad.
I
Nice.
still have it down in the basement. It's a Holton professional trumpet. I was in a marching band.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
most band members that I've interviewed, there've been quite a few of them that have been in marching bands.
Yeah.
Good portion of them. Any other instruments you play?
Well, I've got a Wurlitzer piano in my kitchen. And I've got a bass guitar that I need to fix, but that was fun to play. And I guess that's about it.
Nice.
Are you self-taught on the piano, or did you take lessons?
Yeah. No, It was kind of competition. My brother was taking piano lessons, so I had to one up him.
I mean, it's like I have a long line of musicians, and the core of everybody is piano, and it's like basically if you learn how to play piano, you can learn how to play any instrument, kind of, sort of.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, the thing with piano is the bass is the left hand and the treble is the right hand, and as long as you can move those hands around separately and without getting too hung up, you'll be good to go.
Yeah. Richard,
Okay, cool.
there's one band we haven't touched on that Bo just mentioned, the Queers. Anything going on? Oh, you guys were just touring, weren't you?
Who?
Queers?
Who?
The Queers?
The Queers were just touring. I'm not in the Queers. Chris May, the guitar player for the Hanging Judge, plays bass.
Oh, okay.
So yes, they're constantly on. They're forever on the road. I think they did 180 shows last year.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so they fucking play all the time. Queers are actually recording a new record right now. So
Yeah, I know they were supposed to play here in the Bay Area recently, and that obviously not playing. Yeah. Sorry about that.
oh yeah, no
Well, I
worries.
think it's badass that even during all this, at least you guys are getting stuff done, and it's productive. There's you know, making a bad situation the best of a bad situation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool.
I'm constantly still recycling into riffs that I've had for several years, trying to put songs together. I was actually just sending some back and forth with Bo the other day for future ideas. You know, so
Cool.
I'm working on something. So I've got plenty to keep me occupied.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is this inspiring any of you for some new writings?
Oh, definitely.
Wynn's always writing.
Trying to stay away from that one track writing because being confined, everybody wants to talk about being confined. So kind of hard in that respect to think of anything other than what's going on right now. So that adds an extra layer of trickiness to it all.
Yeah.
Is there anything currently right now? Is it just the current times that we're in? I mean, the situation we're in, or is there some band that you're listening to? Because like we're stuck at home. It's like most of us are like kind of fixated on like that one band. Is there anything in that situation that's inspiring your writing, or is it just you're just deep in thought and just go with it, let it flow?
I've got more time to process music right now. When I listen to something that's not just in the back, I can actually sit down and actually listen to something and enjoy it and take away from it. So it's definitely I'm able to absorb cool little things that I might not notice in the background right now. But nothing in particular. I'm trying to stay away from writing about the obvious topics right now, but
Yeah.
hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost impossible. Fuck. It's funny because, my girlfriend was telling me, with the On the Nod show on Real Punk Radio, she's like, you got to play songs that are positive. You got to play songs that are going to be uplifting and stuff. And my subconscious, man, it's there, man. It's in the front of my head and my subconscious. The second song I played was Emergency from Hanging Judge. And it's like, she listened to it and she's like, you're not doing a good job, Dave. I'm like, well, fuck, it's all I could think of. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
In all's reality, like my last show that I did, I tried to do a PMA, and it's like, I'm sorry, most of our music is pretty angry.
Pretty much, yeah, that's it.
It's
punk rock.
There's a few that had a PMA, but with some anger to it, so it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of it is just like factual of the reality of everybody's, of the world that we live in. So,
Yep. It's definitely a different time. I mean, fuck, it's definitely a new age, man.
yeah.
I
So-
guess it hasn't strayed much from. I heard a Black Flag interview a long time ago, and they said something's got to be said, and we're going to be the ones who say it.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah.
So look, why don't we give everyone just a chance to say whatever you want to say before we wrap up the interview, like just one at a time. Anything you guys want to say, shout out, anything, whatever. We'll start. I'm going to start with, I guess we'll start with what I can see in my area. Eric, want to say anything before
No,
we
I'm
end
good.
this?
Thank you.
Richard?
Stay in
Everybody
school.
stay with each other. Let's hear some new music come out of all this.
Exactly.
Fucking
Exactly.
infinite amounts of time. It seemingly so. Be nice to hear a bunch of new projects come out.
Yeah, exactly. When?
I just want to say I think that's maybe the first time I've ever heard Eric pass on an opportunity to talk.
Wow.
This is a historical time, man. That's what it's all about.
This is a first right here. But no,
And it's recorded.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna give a shout out to my kids for not making me insane and being really fucking good through all of this shit. So that's it. And
Awesome.
just everybody that's you know, all my close friends that I've been able to stay in contact with, that, you know, it's helped keep me sane. And a shout out to all the Home Depot and Lowe's workers for helping me build weight equipment in my garage so I don't lose my mind.
Nice, man. And Bo.
And of course,
All
thank
right,
you
no
guys
problem.
for having us.
Oh,
Hey,
cool.
so yeah, I'd like to end with this. A couple things. One is, you know, as we're going through all this and it affects everybody's lives, I just want to tell everybody, thanks for all of your support to us. But also, man, you know, look out for each other. And there's a lot of people out there that, you know, that are living, you know, penny to penny. And there's a lot of people out there suffering right now. So besides that, let's definitely be careful, you know, that we don't infect people. But more importantly, on our side of things, there's a lot of festivals that got canceled, and there's a lot of tours that got canceled. And a lot of people, their livelihood is paid. I mean, you know, you got people that are going to Europe, and all those bands that were supposed to be in Punk Rock Bowling, all those flights were paid for, all those hotels were paid for. People are out thousands of dollars. So another thing is these promoters, you know, I want to give my hats off to Midwest Live and Loud guys, and I want to give my hats off to Stern Brothers and all their and everybody working on that. People like Eric Gonzo and things that he's got booking, people like Ron Martinez at Crawl Space that literally has an agency that is focused on keeping bands on tour, and that's what feeds their families and their bands' families. So if you know any promoters and you know any booking agents out there, take a moment out, you know, like the Midwest Live Loud guys, or, you know, Chris Catan in Philadelphia, you know, he had Rose Tattoo coming, you know, but take a moment out and just let them know that, you know, that you appreciate them, because there's a lot of work put into booking a 3-day festival with 100 bands or 50 bands, and they're all dead in the water, and there's nothing coming out of it. A lot of money was spent on promotions, and they have to wait till next year to try to do it all over again. So we're in the music business, guys, and let's reach out to your bands that are on tour, or your promoters, your booking agents. Your clubs are dead. Just reach out to them, man. A simple message. Are you okay? And hey, man, hang in there, and thank you for everything you do. And that goes out to you guys too at the radio station and our record label and everybody else following us. Thank you.
You're welcome. And which
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Why we started doing this, you know, because we're an online radio show. We're not a YouTube video. We're not any of that, but it's just like, you know, we have the time, and we see, you know, so many bands and promoters and people in record labels, and like even the all the way to the guys that do sound and lighting and stuff like that. They're personal friends of ours. And it's like, I see them out of work, I see them hurting, I see them suffering. And it's like, I just feel like first of all, it's like everybody has the time, and this gives us the time. I mean, it's, you know, it's like we all have the time to, I have the time to do this, and people need have, you know, we don't have live music, so let's just do this for now, as long as there's no live music, and bring the bands to them in any way that that we can. And the other thing is like, I know a lot of people aren't working and money is hurting, but for those of you that can, it's like support the scene, support the bands and stuff. And it's like, I've been encouraging, like, buy the music on Bandcamp, buy the music on Bandcamp, download it, because there are some bands in Europe that can't distribute their music or their merch because the post offices are closed. So let's do Bandcamp, you know, let's buy the music on Bandcamp. And if like Pirates Press, they're still able to mail stuff out, but I do understand that some countries we can't mail to. But if you can, if you're in that country or that where you can, buy the merch off the website. That being said, where again can we buy your stuff if we want?
Yeah, so thank you. And first of all, you can buy it from PiratePressRecords.com. You can also buy it from Bandcamp. If you go to Bandcamp, type in Antagonizers ATL, and our site will pop up. And on that, and on what you're talking about, I do want to reach out and say thank you to everybody at Pirates Press. They truly are a family, and they treat all their bands like family. And we've never felt so much love and support from every aspect. Anything we need, we got. And also, what they're doing, you know, when you go there, also support your bands. If you have the money, a couple dollars, you can still support them with digital downloads of their music. And also take this, everybody's at home now. So those of us that aren't, you know, those of us that are able to get by, if there's any way to find a positive lining, spending more time with family, working in communications, going outdoors and spend, and these pets that we have are getting more attention than they've ever had in their whole lives. But also what Pirates Press Records is doing, and you guys are doing with Rock the Sofa. If you guys aren't familiar with this, everybody, rockthesofa.com. They put together a platform to interview, live stream, including your radio station. So they put that together to help the friends and families and fans to keep in touch with bands. I know that Noise is doing something, Matt's doing something, Dirk from Noise is doing something. So check out rockthesofa.com. And also keep in touch with your guys' calendar because it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for doing this. I mean, I look forward to seeing you guys in person.
Hell yeah.
We're coming.
I mean, I'm sure because, like I said, Pirates Press is in my backyard. So.
Oh, we're coming. When that album comes out, we will be in your backyard. We will be doing a record release West Coast tour. And you and me are going out to lunch, all of us, Dave, Diana, all of us, we're hanging out, and the first round's on me.
Awesome. All right, man.
All
Let me see that.
Well, thank you so much. And this is Bruja, and we are checking out.